Hey, good morning. Yes, it is. It is Wednesday, August 28th. So I thought today we would do a case study that I'm working on right now. Maybe you guys can give me some advice on it. And on the tiller, Randy, it's it came through the shop, and I used the ultrasonic cleaner, and it just had been sitting so long with old gas in it that it wasn't worth fixing for the time I'd have to put into it. And then I had a feeling I would see that tiller again, so I went ahead and ordered a new carburetor. But I really want to talk about this morning was what Mark Zuckerberg said about censorship and the government involved. But then I get censored, and everything you'd say would get censored. So stay tuned for the case study. All right. Alrighty, so welcome back. Yes, this is the weekday, Monday through Friday. Today is Wednesday, August 28th. So I'm going to start out this morning with trying to get some more cattle loaded to get to the sale. Uh, I did get the wagon unstuck yesterday. We knocked down a bunch of hay, Claude and I did yesterday, and then after he retired for the day, I headed over back with the big girl, Big Deutsch. Hooked onto her, it come out. I said it's coming whether it wants to come or not. Alright, so we're talking a case study. And when I say a case study, I'm talking about a piece of equipment that came into our shop. Alright? Let me give you a little history on it. Alright, so the first time we saw it, Tractor Supply got a hold of me and said, Eric, can you come pick this up and get it fixed? It's not working right. The customer brought it back. We gave him another one, and I don't even get me started on the way they do that, but they gave the customer another one, and now they're stuck with this one, right? And what they tend to do is, if they get stuck with one, they take it back, have us fix it, and then discount it. Because it's already been sold once, so you can't sell it as new. See, that follows the line of logic that the customer is always right, and they're not. What Tractor Supply should be doing, if you guys in HR are listening, is telling its employees, we do not take units back. There's a sheet that's inserted with bold letters on it. Do not bring this back to where you purchased it from. Call this 1-800 number and we will set you up with the closest service center, repair center, to get that unit fixed of any defects. And a lot of customers have figured out that it's not a defect. It's something that they have done to the unit that has caused it, right? So anyhow, it's Cub Cadet, and it's a ZT1 or ZR1 Zero Turn, and it came in. We got it running. It had some old gas in it. The electric solenoid wasn't working good on it. The fuel solenoid in the bottom of the carburetor. Cleaned that up. And it was good to go again, right? So we took it back to Tractor Supply. And the manager of the store said, Eric, is this something you'd be interested in? I said, it depends on the price. So they gave me a price on it. Discounted, of course. And if I were to buy it at discounted price, that meant I wasn't able to submit the warranty or submit into Tractor Supply a repair order on that unit, which is fine with me. Didn't take much to fix it anyway, so I ended up buying it. And I figured I bought it because I was going to upgrade my machine. The old John Deere is still going. So I got it in the yard, and one thing led to the next, and it got to be in the mowing season, and I already serviced my John Deere, and mine was still going strong. We had a customer come and looked and spotted that and said, well, whose is that? And Claude said, that belongs to Eric or the shop, one or the other. He said, well, I'm looking to buy a Zero Turn, if you got one for sale. So he came in and talked to me. We talked price, and he wrote a check out right there for it. No questions asked. Other than servicing that machine for the first 2 years, we never saw it. This is the third year. We serviced it this spring, and it ran great. He got partway into the season, and he works corrections. A lot of our people up this way are still working corrections, prisons. We still have quite a few prisons up here. It used to be everybody you knew worked for the prison. Especially when I grew up in Dannemora as a kid. So what ended up happening was he was putting in a lot of doubles. And somebody offered to mow his yard. I know one of the kids or something like that, but the kids are in their 20s, out of college. And he had taken because he needed to get gas for the lawnmower, he took a diesel can, the blue can. What I use, when I'm getting diesel, I use the blue can. If I'm getting gas, I use the red can. If I'm getting kerosene, I use the yellow can. And that's how you distinguish which is which, right? Well, one time he had to use one of the blue cans to run and get gas to put in the mower for her. And never thought much of it because the can was empty, so he just went and got gas. Because the gas can was in the back of the truck, and she had the truck, right? His wife or girlfriend. So what ended up happening was she needed to put gas in the lawnmower the next time. So she grabbed a blue can. Well, that blue can was full of diesel, which it usually is. Because he has a diesel compact tractor, so he has diesel in his garage. So she filled it up with diesel. He had about a quarter tank of gas and 3/4 diesel. We get a call. The lawnmower is running like shit. Excuse my French. And we can't figure out what's going on with it. So Claude and I went down. We started up. It was smoking like a bugger. We brought it back, and first thing we did was we tested the fuel. And we both could see this is not gas. It has a light smell of gas, but it's not gas. So first thought was, is it the engine oil got dumped into the gas got dumped into the oil, or vice versa, and it thinned it out, or I popped the air breather off from it, and it was literally, folks, saturated and soaked in oil. Pure oil. You could tip it upside down and it would start dripping. That's how much saturated it was. So we drained the tank, threw some gas in it quick, sloshed it around, drained it again, and then refilled it full with premium gas. All right. And I put some of the PRI-G that Jason recommends, and I do too now, in as well. Changed the plugs, because the plugs had oil on. And we let it run for a while. I mean, Claudia had to take the carburetor off, clean that all up, put that all back together. But it sounded like it was running good and driving. And this guy has got a humongous yard compared to most people. I mean, he's got a golf course. They love to mow, I guess. They love a beautiful place. Nothing wrong with that. And they've got two of these. One's an older machine, and this one here is 2 years old. And we usually see both of them, get service them both, and then there's his and hers, right? But it comes back again because they're complaining it's not running right. When you try to mow, it just seems like it's dying out. So we brought it back, and you guys watched the video on changing the coils out on the Zero Turn. Ended up being a faulty coil, was breaking down, and instead of replacing one, we replaced both, all right? Tested it up and down the roadsides mowing, mowed around the shop, mowed great. Finally fixed the freaking thing. So I get an email yesterday from our customer because they get a hold of me through Facebook, texting, and email. So she gets a hold of me yesterday by email and says, Eric, it wasn't working right when you brought it back. And I'm thinking, yeah, it was running great. And now he can't get it to do anything. So I'm thinking, what do you do, pop a fuse on it, you know? So I sent her a message saying, okay, I'll check it out. So we had to run to Messina. It was a 3-hour trip, round trip. So when we got back, we were timing things just right yesterday. Because when we got back from there, a customer just showed up with a Kubota compact that he thought the rear main seal was leaking in it and wanted us to repair it. And it's a glorified lawnmower. It's one of the older ones. We used to use these in the mines for transportation, the diesels. So we talked with him, got him unloaded. And we went up to see what's going on with that lawnmower, all right? So we went up, and the fuse was fine. You turn the key switch on. We figured maybe a safety switch, right? So, and he had the C switch bypassed. But we went through and we checked all the switches, and they were all working, functioning properly. But the man has got muscles like this. When he was going to start it, he's kind of rough on the key switch. Don't need to be turned that hard. But he broke some of the plastic that holds it in place, so it just flip-flops in and out. So the only thing we could figure out, because we tested all the safety switches, and then we crossed at the solenoid and it turned the engine over, it had to be something to do with the switch. So I ordered a new switch yesterday. Now, my question is, I'm still getting oil in the air filter. It's saturating it. And what would cause it to run rough and spill oil into the air filter? But it's kind of got me baffled. So if any of you guys have got, because I know a lot of you guys are great mechanics, could give me a little bit of advice of where to look next. I mean, new coils, new air filter every time, new plugs every time. We completely drained the system of all the, we didn't completely, because you can only get just so much without taking the gas tank physically out. My guess is we still have a little bit of diesel somewhere that's being sucked up into the air filter because it can't burn like normal gas with fumes, and but it's causing a ripple effect of blowing the oil up into it. So in the comments, let me know what you think. Alright, so I'm going to start wrapping this up. But before I do, I really would like to comment on Mark Zuckerberg and what he had to say yesterday and what he's had to say for the past few years. And if you follow this channel at all or follow me at all, you'll know that I believe all sides should be heard. Even if you disagree with it, you should at least have the ability to listen and make an informed decision based on your knowledge, or you can do research, right? You can look into it. You got the internet at your finger, right? Your phone. You can check it out. But for the longest time now, the mainstream media has lost all credibility. And even like Fox, they aren't always right. And it's more of a commentary than it is the news, okay? I come from an era of Walter Cronkite. This is the news, and he would state what he knew and let you decide. He didn't tell you his views on what he was talking about. He was giving you the news, as he was given the news from reporters, what have you. And that's what news is. And news is, whether you agree or disagree, it is what it is. And then from there, we as Americans can make an informed decision based on what the news actually is. It's not what a news network thinks it is. I mean, we were told by the mainstream media that Trump was in collusion with the Russians, and come to find out, it's just the other parties in collusion with China. And then we were told that there was nothing there with Hunter and the laptop and the gun, and there was. Any talk about that on any media thing, it got pulled, it got censored. And then we were told that by the mainstream again that Biden was mentally fit. He was ready for another 4 years. So it makes you wonder, how much are they telling you that isn't correct? I can tell you what my view is, but I'd rather you make an informed decision on your own, right? And if I'm giving you my view, it's strictly my view. It's not news. It's commentary of what I think, okay? And I'm not out there telling you I'm bringing you the news. But I've always been a person that, you need to hear both sides, all right? And when it comes to family, friends, and other people in general, you need to learn to agree to disagree. And that's kind of being lost through generations. Is that no matter what, you should still be able to be friends, associates, what have you. We can't all agree on everything. God didn't make us that way. If you want to agree on everything, go to China. They're not allowed to think on their own. Xi tells them what to do. Russia was that way. North Korea. They're not allowed to think and have views about anything. So whether you agree or disagree, still be friends in the end. And I knew this was going on because I was even watching you guys be censored here on YouTube with your comments. And that's just not right. I've always been a person, you need to come at people and give constructive criticism, all right? Don't just start lambasting and degrading somebody else because of their views. That's not fair to you, and not fair to them. Okay? So let's all just be people in general. And if I don't agree with what you say or you don't agree with what I say, at the end of the day, let's agree to disagree if we can't get common ground, right? And still be friends at the end of the day. Because there's nothing that you can agree or disagree on that should cause that big of a rift. There isn't. No election, no political, none of that stuff shit. None. So on that note, you guys have a great Wednesday. Don't forget to let me know what you think about what's going on with that Cub Cadet Zero Turn. And we'll catch you here bright and early tomorrow morning. All right, thanks so much for watching.